What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Point. I'm your host, Anna Kasparian, and I do apologize to everyone who missed me during last week's episode. I was unfortunately out of town, but I'm back today, and we have a great show ahead for you guys today. In fact, we have a double-decker show because I'm going to be out of town next week, and I want to make sure that there's enough content to hold you over until I come back. And thankfully, we have great panelists to help me do that. We have Hank Chen, a returning panelist that hasn't been here in a while.
I know. I was like, am I in trouble? Why no one's returning my... I'm kidding. No. It's so great to be back. Thank you.
He's a comedian and actor. For any of you who aren't familiar with him, he's awesome, and it's great to have you back.
So great to be back, sweetheart.
And we also have Charlie Berens, who's another awesome returning panelist.
Yes, thank you. Here for the double-decker.
Yes, it's going to be fun. He's an actor and host of At Hollywood. You guys should check him out. Later on in the show, I'm going to give you an opportunity to plug some of your work so everyone can like cyber stalk you and know what you're up to.
Charlie is also my new husband. He's my husband for this month.
It's
all right, okay.
A this month thing.
Yeah.
Might last a little longer.
Well,
might
you guys make a very handsome couple.
That's Hollywood for you. You know, we're open.
All right, so what are we talking about today? Amy Schumer goes after the Kardashians. Some of you probably love that. Some of you might not like it. I know Khloe Kardashian didn't. We'll get to that. Also, students at the University of Austin are protesting concealed carry on their campuses, and they're doing so with sex toys. I'll give you the information on that one. And then finally, if you love cheese, you and I are in the same camp, and it turns out that it could be just as addictive as doing drugs. So there's some scientific evidence later on in the show. But first, let's get started with Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer did her first ever monologue on SNL, and of course she killed it. And she picked on, honestly, low-hanging fruit, the Kardashians. So during her monologue, she said the following: "We have to be a role model for these little girls because who do they have? All they have really is the Kardashians. Is that a great message for little girls? A whole family of women who take faces they were born with as a light suggestion." But then after that, she actually went off on Khloe Kardashian. Here's what she said. "We used to have Khloe. Khloe was ours, right? Whenever there's a group of women, you identify with one of them. But then Khloe, she lost half her body weight. She lost a Kendall." Now, Khloe Kardashian did lose a lot of weight, about 35 pounds in the last 2 years, and it's because she's been hitting the gym, she's been eating healthy, and honestly, she looks incredible. And even though Amy Schumer is a comedian and everyone should be able to laugh at themselves, Khloe was not too pleased with that joke, and she kind of posted a cryptic message on Twitter that many believe was directed at at Amy. So here's what she had to say. She said, "No need to tear others down just to make yourself feel bigger. It actually makes you quite small. I'm on a healthy journey. I don't care for the hate." And then she also wrote, "Let's uplift one another. Happy Sunday. Stay smiling." I think that was actually a pretty classy way to handle it. You can tell that she was bothered by the jokes, but you do have to be able to laugh at yourself, especially if you're a public figure. You are going to be the butt of jokes. And if you know you look good, who cares? Flaunt it. Let them talk, right? Not a big deal. I want to know what you guys think about this. Hank, make your point.
Oh, girl, subtweet. Now, here's the thing. The Kardashians, I don't know what to believe. I'm like, this is going to end up on their show. And quite frankly, they have a lot more to worry about with Lamar Odom's being found unconscious in a brothel.
I feel terrible.
So this is not at the top of their list.
I know that there are some people that take these like reality celebrities and they make light of everything they go through, even if they're going through something traumatic. But I really hope that people don't make light of Lamar Odom's drug issue because it's devastating.
In a brothel, what was he addicted to? You know what I mean? There's a lot going on there.
I mean, we're all addicted to the power of the pussy or the cock. So I'm not hating on Lamar. I just feel bad that he has a substance abuse issue. I don't want to take this to a dark place.
Of course.
Charlie Berens.
First
Too late.
story,
Already went there.
Story number one.
We're in a brothel with drug abuse. No, I liked Amy Schumer's monologue. I do think she needs to give little girls a little more credit. I think they have other people they
Role
look
models.
to other than the Kardashians. And I get what Khloe's saying, like, let's be nice, let's uplift one another. But if on a weekly basis you're the Kardashians and you are consistently perpetuating these sort of like beauty first things, you're going to be called out on that, and you should be called out on that. And it was low-hanging fruit, but you know what? Someone's got to eat the low-hanging fruit,
I got it,
or else
yeah.
the worms will get it.
Oh, okay.
That's a
Good
fruit
point.
thing.
I'm
If
gonna
you
write
pick
that down.
apples, yeah.
I like these metaphors.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
my
I
new
like it.
Instagram
It's off the
meme.
top of my head.
So here's a personal question for the story. Do you guys think it's worse to make fun of someone for being too skinny or too fat? Charlie?
I think both are bad. I mean, I just watched a documentary on the name I'm forgetting, but a very popular YouTuber who, was bullied for being skinny. She had a disease that didn't allow her to.
We did a story on it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you did a story on that. So there was that. So I think that is just as bad and just as damaging as the other YouTuber who made that fat shaming thing. I forget her name.
Nicole Arbor.
You got her.
Yeah, she is a deplorable human being.
Biatch.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, what about you?
How do I feel about it?
Yes, how do you feel about it?
I mean, like, the question is it worse? So if I have to pick one, I would say fat is probably meaner, but you know, as someone who's on the skinny side, I think the more subversive approach. I'm constantly getting people who are like, you need to work out, or you should eat something, and I think, and at first, since sometimes being skinny is not seen as an immediate bad thing, you don't quite know how to take it. Whereas being fat is a clear insult.
Right. I mean, historically, in the United States specifically, and of course it varies based on which country you're in. Heavier individuals are usually made fun of more than thin individuals. So I can see how making fun of heavier people is seen as worse than making fun of thin people. But shaming someone's body type, regardless of what their body type is wrong. And so I agree with Charlie that you shouldn't do it, regardless of what a person looks like. I mean, it's funny because I get body shamed every once in a while, and I make light of it because I don't care that much, but it's usually about my ass. Like, oh, she's got no ass. But it's like, come on, it's my body type. It's the way that I'm built. I'm healthy, I eat right, I exercise, and this is as good as it gets. So if people don't like it, I don't know, whatever. Deal
Pretty
with
damn
it.
good, in
right?
my opinion.
Well,
if that's as good as it gets.
Thank you.
You
I
have
agree.
an ass.
Yeah, it looks.
Thank you.
You're
She
welcome.
does, guys. She has an ass.
Thank you, thank
Yep,
you.
there it
Oh
is.
my God, I'm getting a little
It's good.
self-conscious now. Anyway, guys, tell us what you think. Do you think it's worse to make fun of someone's body type if they're overweight or underweight? And also, what do you make of this story? Do you think that Khloe Kardashian was in her right to be upset over Amy Schumer joking about her? Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. Everyone is a little upset at Raven-Symoné, especially because some of her views on The View have been controversial to say the least. Now, recently, the ladies of The View were talking about a study indicating that those with black-sounding names are more likely to be discriminated against when they're applying for jobs. Raven-Symoné seems to think that there's nothing wrong with that. Take a look.
Can we take back racist and say discriminatory? Because I think that's a better word.
Yes, it is a much better word.
That's a better word, and I am very discriminatory against words like the ones that they were saying in those names. I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Andrea. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna hire you.
Really? That's not their fault. I would be such a beautiful King Kong Quisha, by the way, I'm just letting you guys know. But
No, is that mean? Is that mean for me?
Yeah, it's kind of mean. Especially when you've been given evidence indicating that people in your own group have been discriminated against just based on their name. Something that they didn't choose themselves, and you totally believe it's okay to discriminate against them. And you say that you would discriminate yourself. So yes, that's mean. But she did issue an apology after the backlash, and after her own father said that that was a stupid thing to say. Here's her apology. She says, I'd like to begin by saying that I was not attacking a specific race, but repeating a name that was said in a viral video, which has received over 2 million likes. I have been denied many jobs because of my skin color, body size, and age. Each time I was rejected, my self-esteem was negatively affected, so I empathize with those who feel victimized by what I said. As an equal opportunity employer, I have never discriminated against a name, even though I said I would. It's not true. My comment was in poor taste. Now, her comment was in poor taste, and I'm glad that she is admitting that and conceding to that. But in the beginning of her statement, I love how she's like, I was making a reference to a viral video that 2 million people liked, kind of trying to make a statement about how, whatever, there are lots of people that agree with me. And again, if you're gonna apologize, don't make references like that. Just apologize and understand that you were wrong. That's my take on it. Charlie, what do you think? Make your point.
Yeah, I'm confused with The View. I feel like every week they do something that's this stupid or a little bit higher.
Yeah.
And it's like, and their ratings suck too. Is that right? I
Their
feel
ratings
like I
do
read
suck,
that.
and I feel like they're constantly looking for a heel or someone
Yeah.
who's going to say something controversial to go back to the Elizabeth Hasselbeck
There we
days
go.
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
had great ratings.
And then you get to, but it's just, it's coming across as almost like they're trying, like, I feel, especially, sorry, I just spit on you.
No,
Especially-
I enjoyed it more.
Oh my God.
I know, I need it's moisturizer.
Got it. Got it.
Especially Raven, that's so Raven. Simone, I don't know. What
so
are you
Raven.
thinking? What are you
Referred to her as
thinking?
like I'm in the 90s. That's
Is
that's-
that
Yeah,
her
that's so
thing?
Raven
I
was her
honestly
thing.
we
don't
grew up
really
with her,
know.
so that's what we would
Okay,
know her
that's
as.
all I
I
remember
too
about
did not
her.
know her full name. I just called her That's So Raven.
Great. I'm glad we're on the same page with that. Did I even make a point? I don't know. Hank,
You
go.
did
I did.
make a point, but
Yeah, I loved it.
as
And spit on me, and you spit on me.
There's lots of fun happening all around right now. Her last name is actually pronounced Simone because she decided to put an accent on the last E. Just very strange. Anyway, go ahead, Hank, make your point.
I think it's a little hypocritical of her to be sitting there while she's clearly black, lesbian, in a red mohawk, making that comment. But here's the thing. Sometimes, Anna, I make the mistake of reading comments of videos that I'm in, and not everyone who watches a show likes me, and I'm okay with that because I have a very clear and defined opinion. And also, I'm a comedian. I'm not a pundit. I'm not a politician. I am here to bring to take a topic and give it a certain angle and to bring some lightness to it. And I think Raven feels that that's maybe what she has to try to do sometimes. Also, her and Whoopi. However, Whoopi is an established comedian. Raven is not. She's still an entertainer, and so I think it's that Juliana Rancic, Joan Rivers kind of a thing, where it's like she's earned all of those mean jokes because it's a joke. Juliana, you may not be in a place to get away with something like that.
Interesting.
Not saying that I do either, but I'm like, I think that's what Raven was trying to do. The apology was sufficient, but half-assed.
Interesting. Charlie.
But I think that's very interesting that Whoopi, if you looked at Whoopi's look after that, she went like,
yeah,
what the?
Well, all four of them were like,
Yeah, we're like, oh.
Well, Whoopi is a Bill Cosby supporter to a fault. I mean, I don't know if Whoopi has any right to be offended by anything, especially considering the fact that she's been supporting a rapist, even after his 2005 deposition indicates that he bought Quaaludes with the intention of raping women. So, but yes, she can be upset about this.
I thought she backed out of that. Anyway, but regardless, I can't believe she still supports him. But either way, that the fat shaming girl from YouTube came on The View, and then somebody said to her, if you're going to make fun of somebody, make it be the person who's downtrodden, or not the person. Make like the uncomfortable or the comfortable feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Don't kick the person
It's
who's
already down.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. All right, so here is the question. Do you like your name? If not, what would you change it to? Charlie.
I liked my name until somebody decided to have kids who were named Charlie, and it's, oh, Charlie bit my finger. Ever since 2007.
No.
I still like my name, and over the years that's gotten less and less obnoxious.
You have a rich-sounding name. I'm
Charles.
Charlie Berens.
Charlie Berens. My middle name's Robert. Charles.
That's such
Robert.
a rich-sounding name.
The most
Thank
waspy.
I like it.
Yeah, fucking Kennedy over here. Right?
Thank you. Thank you.
What about you?
I do like. My birth name is Henry.
Yeah.
And I made a conscious effort to shift it, evolve in 2004 as I was going through my self-discovery coming out phase. And I mean, I joke and I say my slave name is Henry because it's like that was my birth name, and there was just so much that happened.
Yeah.
That Hank felt like a fresher beginning for me, and it took a while. Even I would introduce myself as Hank, and then people would call me that, and I wouldn't turn around because I had to get adjusted to it myself.
Yeah.
And so that was just my little transformation. But Hank is the official nickname for Henry.
Yeah, I have a similar story to yours. So my name is very Armenian. It's Anahit Misa Kasparian, right? Which doesn't translate well when you're doing broadcasts. So I shortened it to Anna because no one knows how to say my first name properly. And then, of course, I never reference my middle name, which is actually my dad's first name.
Wow.
It's very...
Can you spell it out? Can we get just spell it out right underneath the title card?
Anahit is my first name.
Wow.
Misak, Misak is my middle name, and then Kasparian. You guys, you should
Gorgeous.
know. It's all over the place. You should know how to say my last name. But yeah, Anna Kasparian, I would just have that name. I don't plan on changing my name ever, even if I get married. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, what do you guys think? What would you change your name to? Maybe you love your name. Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. Black Lives Matter is an important movement that's happening throughout the country to raise awareness about the number of unarmed black individuals who are shot and killed due to police brutality. Now, as a result, Lamar Advertising Company wanted to make a point about police lives and how they also matter. So they posted about 300 different billboards that say the following. They say that Blue Lives Matter, and of course it's a reference to police officials. Now on its face, this seems completely harmless, but it's an effort to kind of take away from the Black Lives Matter movement and kind of shift the focus onto police that are being targeted or criticized as a result of the police brutality. Now, of course, a number of people are not too happy about it. However, Tracy Hallowell wanted to defend this. Here's what Tracy had to say, or Trace, I should say. The heart of the message is that no human should be hated or targeted by violence simply because of the color of clothing that they wear. I would hope this message is simply seen as being in harmony with that philosophy. However, Michael Greets Jr. disagrees with this and tweeted the following: saw a billboard last night that read Blue Lives Matter. Could anything be more misunderstood and appropriated than Black Lives Matter? It's an interesting point, and it's difficult to criticize those billboards because anyone who does so might be misinterpreted as someone who's not in favor of protecting police lives, but that's not really the case. The case is that right now we have a huge problem in the country with police brutality that not only impacts Black individuals, but also people from all different backgrounds. We need to do something about the excessive force that's being practiced by cops, and to critique them or criticize them doesn't mean that you don't value their lives. It means that you want them to have a better job, to do a better job, and to actually serve and protect. At least that's my take on this. Hank, what do you think? Make your point.
I think you're absolutely right. And, you know, I value Black lives, I value the police. And I think, and I just made that very clear distinction because I do believe that this campaign is dismissive from the original movement. The hashtag was Black Lives Matter, and so this is almost like a counter hashtag to be like, and I think if they were to call it something different or just to be like, hey, go police, you know, I know it wouldn't be as catchy or as counter progressive, but if they're making it seem like if you support one, you can't support the other. And they're also not acknowledging the victimization and their of the original group, why we even have this conversation in the first place.
Yeah, it's needlessly pitting two groups against one another, and that's not what the point is. The point is to make an argument against police brutality and to say that, hey, yes, all lives do matter, but Black people are disproportionately impacted by police force. And so I think that being dismissive just kind of does away with a movement that could actually lead to something good. Charlie, what do you think? Make your point.
This is an ad agency. They know exactly what they're doing. You know, Black Lives Matter is, yes, all lives matter. Nobody even questions that. All lives matter. Duh. That doesn't mean it needs to be a hashtag. Blue Lives Matter is specifically ripping off Black Lives Matter. The whole point of having Black Lives Matter, or I don't know, Black History Month, is because something has not been served in the way it needs to be served, and that's why it's there. So do some other campaign. You're creative enough to not just rip off somebody else's.
Yeah, good point. What message would you advertise on a billboard, Charlie?
How stupid of an idea, Blue Lives Matter. I would not that. Yes, police lives matter a lot. I would just find some other way to say that.
All right, Hank, what about you?
Oh, did you want a personal thing? Just
anything
any
you want.
billboard?
You can advertise whatever you want on a billboard. What would you advertise?
I will work for work is what I will say, because I think as a perpetual freelancer working in entertainment, I know a lot of talented people who are not working, and I'm fortunate to be one who does. But I hustle for every single job that I get, and so I'm just putting it out there that I will work for work.
It's working right now.
All right, I like that. I like that. I've been on a mission against for-profit colleges for years now because they've been extremely deceptive in their recruiting processes, and they've been convincing students to take out all of these student loans in order to go to their institutions and get degrees that aren't actually accredited, that don't actually mean anything. And then these kids deal with this debt for the rest of their lives. And so I would use these billboards to let them know that for-profit colleges like Phoenix Online are terrible and they shouldn't go there. Just this week, actually, the government banned veterans from using money that they received from the GI Bill for Phoenix Online, because Phoenix Online is a very questionable institution.
It's a scam.
Please look into it. And I know it sounds cheesy that I would use the billboards to advertise that more than anything else, but I think it's an important matter. All right? Totally. Tell us what you think. What would you advertise on the billboards? And also, what do you think of this story? Maybe you disagree on our take of Blue Lives Matter. Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. California is now the first state in the U.S. to ban Redskins mascots. Now, this was a new bill that was signed into law by Governor Jerry Brown. And Jerry Brown's been on a roll lately. He's been signing all these bills into law. And apparently, this isn't going to impact too many high schools. Only about 4 of them will be impacted. But beginning January 1st of 2017, these 4 schools will have to find a different nickname or name for their mascot. Now, the schools that will be impacted by this include Gustine High School, Calaveras High School, Chowchilla Union High, and also Tulare Union High School. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Now, the Huffington Post did make a statement about this. They said nationwide, high schools are the most frequent appropriators of Native American names and slurs as team names, a 538 study found last year. Of the 2,128 high school, college, semi-pro, and amateur teams using such names, 92% are in high schools. Now, I think what California is doing right now makes a lot of sense, and I know it's mostly symbolic since it's only going to impact 4 different schools. However, it sends a message that using something like Redskin is not appropriate when you're referring to a mascot or any type of athletic team. I mean, think about it. If you had a team called the Negroes, everyone would be outraged by it because it's just not the right way to refer to people. And so I love that California is taking the lead on this. I'm a huge California supporter because I was born and raised here. So I love the progressive take. But maybe you guys disagree with me. I don't know. Hank, make your point.
Well, I completely agree with it because also as a minority, I just can't imagine a mascot running around appropriating some kind of Asian slur. It would make me feel incredibly uncomfortable. And it kind of reminds me a couple of years ago when Jeremy Lin was, kind of like sweeping the NBA and people were, Linsanity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of like Asian slurs started popping up. Some pro Linsanity and some like, a lot of just, there was something called chink in the armor and people were like, oh, you guys are being too sensitive. Chink in the armor really means, and it's like, yeah, but you guys used chink the armor specifically in the context of this Asian man.
Right.
So I knew how I felt, so I can only imagine someone feeling disrespected with this name.
I'm also really amused by people who aren't part of a particular ethnic group telling that
how you
ethnic
should feel.
group how you should feel.
Yeah.
Like,
don't be so sensitive.
don't be so.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I agree with you. Charlie, make your point.
I went to the Redskins website, the Washington Redskins website, because I feel like this could be one of those state-by-state things where eventually it gets to the NFL team. And their justification for using the name Redskin is this study.
They have it on their website? They have a justification?
Yeah, they have the
oh
facts.
My God.
But in this study, it was anthropologist. It was done through the Smithsonian, I think. And basically, they say that the Redskin name was not a slur, but it was a thing of endearment, or something like that.
Get out of here. I mean,
a justification.
Yeah.
Like cunt. Oh, it's a term of endearment.
it's a term of endearment. I love being called a cunt.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I own it. I own the N-word.
I love that you looked that up. That's great.
I checked it out, but it's clear from the backlash from the Native American community that this is not a term that even today a lot of racial slurs do start as not slurs.
Yeah.
But it's turned into that today. So
Absolutely.
They just don't want to pay for all of the new signage. They're like, oh, it costs too much for us to like reprint all the helmets.
Actually, that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
Merchandising.
I mean, here's the thing about names. It's a brand, right? And once you change a name, then your brand kind of disappears. I mean, that's the justification that they've been using, but I'm not buying it. At some point, you kind of have to adapt with the times and evolve as a team, and I think that it's time that they do that. So if you could choose one sport to compete in, which sport would it be, Charlie?
Lawn darts.
Oh, okay.
Professional lawn dart thrower.
All right, fun.
Yeah.
Hank.
Professional napping. During college, I had an incredible skill of being able to find any corner. I still do it now. Like if I've got like a 2-hour layover, I'll like be behind the airline, like the airline counter at like a non-active gate, and I will like curl up next to their monitor.
Oh my God.
Like my biggest skill was being able to go into the cafeteria in between classes if there was like 45 minutes to kill, so I'm not gonna go back to my dorm, and like line up 3 chairs. They're not even smooth. They have like the ridges, for your legs and your ass.
And you'd fall asleep.
I could curl up and I could, like I sleep so comfortably in economy on airlines. Like I am a professional napper. I should win an award.
Wow.
I'm
I
really
wish I
good.
could do that. I'm
I
like
can-
having a hard time sleeping.
I can steal 20 minutes. Well, that's because you got a man in your bed. Boyfriend in your bed.
all right.
All her
So-
business. I'm sorry.
It's true. All right, so here's the question. Oh yeah, I have to answer my own question. Sorry, I got distracted when I talked about my man in my bed. I would do boxing. I really like boxing. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I'd love to train and be able to like fight someone in a ring. It'd be fun.
Don't mess with Anna.
I'd
All
like
right.
to see you two fight in a ring.
I would immediately be submissive. I would just, just go ahead,
Yeah.
Anna, right here. Just take it. I wouldn't even try.
Well, Sam Shocker from TYT Network, who hosts Pop Trigger, just recently got into a boxing match to raise money for a charity that she's working on. And apparently it turned out being a tie. But I got a little jelly. I'm like, I want to do that. That looks really fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would do. Tell us what you would do if you could compete in a sport professionally. What do you think about the Redskins name? Maybe you have a defense that we haven't heard yet. Comment in the section below. We love hearing from you, and we'll see you soon. What would you do if you were maybe smoking some weed, snorting some coke, and then a professional athlete took a photo or video of you and posted it online? Well, it turns out that this recently did happen at an Astros game when UFC fighter Derek the Beast Lewis took video of a woman nearby snorting coke, and then he posted it on Instagram and put her on blast. Take a look. All right, so there were lots of different reactions to that. Some people thought that it was funny. Some people poked fun at her. One Instagram comment said, wifey type. She's not even doing it right. And then also, some people did get on the Beast's case over putting this woman on blast. They thought that it was kind of a low-class thing to do. Wow, man, you didn't have to put her on blast. And another person said, trying to sneak some Flonase at an Astros and the internet labels you a cokehead, damn shame. I actually tend to agree with those who are against the shaming because, come on, man, like, first of all, it's none of your business. And who knows how many consequences this could have for this woman. I mean, she could lose her job. Her family might stop talking to her as a result of this. I mean, drug use is not taken as something lightly by a lot of different people. And so if she was working for me, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, whatever, it's your own time. You're at an Astros game. As long as you don't come to work high, I don't really care, right? But I would hate if someone did this to me. Plus, I've been to a baseball game before where maybe I took a vape with me. Like, I don't need someone putting me on blast if I'm smoking a vape at a game. Just get off my ass. That's what I think about this. What do you think, Hank? Make your point.
Did you see how she like timed it too? She like waited for like she literally he obviously saw her do it and he was like, I'm gonna tape this one.
Yeah.
Like and I saw that and yes, it was funny because it was like, what is happening? But I my first thing I thought, I was like, this girl's got a problem. She's got a problem because to me it looked like she was. It's like equivalent of like drinking alone at home. It's like she's not like with a bunch of people. It wasn't a bunch of peer pressure. Like she brought her substance out. And she couldn't be without it for 3 hours.
Yeah,
and
but another
it's not
counter argument to
cocaine
that.
is not recreational.
Yeah.
Like recreational.
Look, I've never done cocaine. I have no interest in cocaine because if I'm going to put something like that in my body, I want it to last longer than 10, 15 minutes, okay?
And cost less.
And cost less, exactly. I'm more of a, like, I want to relax and have a good time type of person, which is why I'm a huge advocate of marijuana. But I don't know. I feel like you don't know her and you don't know what her, like, habit is. Maybe she's at a game and she just wanted, like, an upper. I hope she's not addicted. All right, but what do you think about this, Charlie? Make your point.
Well, the guy who said the Flonase situation, been there. So maybe she's got a little baby, a baggie, and doing a key bump of Flonase. I don't know.
Maybe.
Also, True Grit. Have you seen True Grit?
Yes.
A little snuff. You know?
Yeah.
It happens. That's tobacco. That's perfectly legal.
That is perfectly
I
legal.
Googled it.
Do people do snuff these days?
I don't know, but maybe.
It's very
maybe she was
1989,
doing
isn't
snuff.
it?
Yes.
It's like, what generation are we in?
Very
now?
1889.
Well,
I think,
you look like you came from. You walked out of a period piece,
Thank
Charlie.
you. Yes.
So
I've been known to do
I know.
some snuff in my day.
I know. from off the set of Boardwalk Empire onto TYT.
Thank
this
you.
one.
I
Here
love
I
it.
am.
All right, well, what's something that you've done in public that you're embarrassed about, Hank? I'm sure that there's something you've done in public. That
Basic guy
embarrassing
stuff.
stuff.
Pick my nose, scratch my balls. You know,
That's
but
it?
but that's I'm trying to think of something like not like like some of the stories we've covered, like having sex in public. Not that I would be ashamed of that, but I think like yeah, I've been shamed for, you're digging for gold, Hank. I mean, like, I think like bodily maintenance stuff is what I've been caught doing before. What, my balls itch, and now you just own it.
Okay.
I mean, I'll think of something more scandalous if Charlie wants to match me.
I don't know that I have anything scandalous, but I just did this morning. So I got up early. I made myself a smoothie of carrots, apples, yogurt, almond milk.
Will you bring
and
us one next
something
time?
else. Maybe. Let me get to the story, and then you'll decide if you want to. Anyway, this beautiful, healthy concoction looked a lot like vomit. And I noticed as I was drinking, but I was like, whatever, no one's going to see this. So I get into the car, I spill it all over my shirt. And it's like a full morning walking out of my place. And so I'm walking back just looking like I yacked all over myself.
No.
And my car, who your guy at the door had to get in to park, he saw the vomit-filled car.
Oh, no.
So I tried to explain it, but I was like, never mind.
Well, I mean, that's not too bad, right?
No,
I
it's
mean,
not terrible, but you
This is
should have
gonna
seen
be
me in
good.
the shirt.
This is going to be good. Go ahead, Anna. What's your
Okay,
moment?
the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me in public was, so when I was first dating my boyfriend, we were, I don't know, like we were so into each other physically. Like it started off as purely physical, right?
Go on.
Hello.
Yeah, so we went to his place of work because his place of work is where people go to drink and party and have a good time.
Yeah.
And we decided to get frisky in a bathroom. And since there were people in the men's bathroom, we decided to go to the women's bathroom, which is mistake number one because women rat you out, right? So we went to the women's bathroom and we tried to be as discreet as possible, but I guess someone heard us. And so before we know it, security knocked on the door.
Oh, come on.
And we had to be escorted out. And as we were being escorted out, we had to walk past his colleagues, his coworkers. And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. This is so embarrassing. And so he had told his boss, because his boss called him in the next day and was like, what the fuck were you thinking? And he was like, I'm sorry, she had too much to drink. I was helping her out. And
Yeah, you was.
Helping out what part of her body?
and then his boss was like, oh, was she choking? So it was bad. It was bad. And that's like probably my most embarrassing thing. Anyway, we got to go now. Tell us what you guys have been embarrassed about when it comes to doing something in public. Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think. We'll see you soon. A 19-year-old man by the name of Gerald Washington has been arrested for doing fake interviews. Now, this is a fascinating and kind of clever idea. So apparently, he put up a job posting claiming that his company, Howard Enterprises, was hiring 1,000 people. Now, he would charge a $25 application fee for anyone who applied for this job that didn't really exist, and he would even collect their urine. Now, Tallahassee police actually figured out that there was something strange about this, and so after they investigated, they figured out what he was doing, and he got arrested, okay? Authorities say they heard people had actually quit their current jobs to apply for this job, again, that didn't really exist. So there's a sad ending to it, but you gotta admit that it's kind of clever and a genius plan to make a little bit of money on the side. And also, I don't know why he was collecting their urine, but I'm guessing that maybe he could use it in the future if he's applying for jobs and he wants to test negative for drugs or whatever.
Reselling, repackaging,
Oh,
wholesale.
great point.
Golden showers.
This man's a freaking entrepreneur, okay? But I don't agree with what he did. It is illegal, and you're taking advantage of people who are desperate. They're looking for jobs. What do you guys think about this? Make your point, Charlie.
Yeah, I think he did a bad thing, obviously, but this could be a catch me if you can scenario where he's got some skills for conning people. Maybe he can go work for the government, find other people who are charging $25 and a can of piss to get a job. Maybe there's hope for him yet.
Maybe. Charlie, what do you think? Make your point.
Oh, you hit.
Yeah, what do you think, Charlie?
Okay.
I mean, shit.
Say it again.
Hank.
Okay.
Charlie made such a good point that I'm like, I'm
She was
stuck on
blown
Charlie
away by
right
it.
now.
We're pretty much the same person, though, so
Yeah,
that's
pretty
completely
much.
forgivable.
You guys look just alike each other.
Well,
do,
you know what?
yeah.
It's fitting because I actually completely agree with him. You're like,
Yeah.
you did a bad thing. Boom, 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 boom. You don't charge us for licensing for that song. But yeah, I'm thinking entrepreneur, and
Yeah.
I hope that he can take a skill set and find an honest job. I think, maybe someone out there will be like, well, this is an interesting skill set. You
Right.
come in an interview, and then I hope that there's some kind of restitution in place. Surely he has a record of everyone who he's taken from.
Yeah.
Turn honest, get a good salary job, doing what you like anyways, and then pay everyone back that you took money from.
Yeah, I absolutely agree
Immediately
with you.
return their piss.
Yeah.
Immediately, because people
That's the
they're
most
gonna want their
valuable.
piss back. Yeah. I will say this, though. A lot of criminals out there are actually really, really smart. And if they just took their intelligence and used it for good, they could be legal entrepreneurs that make a lot of money, right? They could work on Wall Street where some of the stuff shouldn't be legal, but it is, and they take advantage of the working class and middle class, and they make a fortune out of it. Now, here's the question for the story. What's the sketchiest job you've ever applied for, Hank?
I didn't apply for them. I worked for them for 2 years when I was starving in New York City, and it was for a very well-known New York newspaper, and they had a, I don't know, like a separate department that would hire people to go sell subscriptions, and it was a very, and like now that I look at it and being in the workforce and understanding labor law, so many things were illegal, and this newspaper should still be liable for all of them, but I'm not going to bother pursuing. But it was just like, no, it was a weird commission based, no pay. It was just a lot of abuse of and yeah, it was just they really took advantage of us, even though we made, it was like golden handcuffs. Like we made good money for what we did, but there was so much other stuff that they did not, like they charged us back for subscriptions that bounced back, you know, shit like that is straight up illegal. Like hours that we didn't get paid for. It was just really weird. Like they screwed, the IRS should get on them, but I don't want to be subpoenaed and have to testify. I know my life's too busy now. So
Jesus.
that was
Charlie,
weird.
what about you?
Yeah.
Well, when I was a young warthog, I would say, when I was a young... Okay,
Don't pay for licensing for that one.
Yeah, not either. I was into kind of the modeling industry, so I was in New York myself, I know.
I can't see it. I don't, why didn't you succeed in that? I don't
Just tried to wink at the camera. I think it was the wrong camera.
Wrong industry, Charlie.
I went to this gentleman who said that he could... he could get me going, get me some Armani deals, maybe some Calvin Klein. Just needed a few underwear shots. No big deal.
Were you the victim of casting couch? Is that what happened?
Keep going.
So anyway, I went to what I thought it was a shoot I was getting paid for in a Chelsea apartment in New York City.
Oh no!
And this young Wisconsin boy wasn't quite putting the pieces to the puzzle together there, guy, okay? That's how I talked back then. And that's not really how I talked back then.
I would have believed you if you really did.
Well, I didn't sell it. Next time I'll sell it. Okay, so anyway, went up to this apartment and was gonna take some underwear shots. And then things got weird.
What happened?
Well, I don't know if I should tell this story.
Do it.
After I've already told this much.
Of course you, yes.
So he tried to go in for it.
What do you mean go for it?
So he was like, look this way, do a pose. I was like, I'm killing it. I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Did he style you?
I'm killing it. And he's like, hold right there. It's great. It's great. And then that hand was kind of there, but a little bit lower.
Oh my God, what's happening right now?
That's where his hand went, yeah.
Oh my God!
Down there, and I was like, okay.
Did he touch you?
Okay, that is at least $150, guy.
Did he
An hour.
touch you?
Oh yeah, he went
That's
for it. I was like,
amazing.
oh no.
Were you like, hey man?
I was like, dude, Kai, I don't know. I gotta get out of here, you know? Shoot over.
gosh.
Heck
Oh
no.
my
Did you get the photos?
I did not get the photos. They're out there somewhere.
You didn't even get the photos?
If there was even film in the camera.
Did you sign a release?
I didn't sign anything.
Good. So
I told you I was a young warthog.
So he can't at least publish them when you become really big.
That's true.
Wow, Charlie is the winner of this story
Yeah.
Victory is mine.
contest. The sketchiest job that I worked for was like a telemarketing company. I didn't even really realize what I was getting myself into because I was really young, like 18 or something. And basically what they did is you show up and they gave you these phone books and you just call all of these different businesses and you tell them that they've run out of toner for their printer and you pretend like they've been buying from you for years and that they need to refill and then like they give you credit card information. It was just, I was there for half a day and then I left. I was like, this is not right. They're doing something illegal. But that was the sketchiest job ever. There's tons of jobs out there that do this. Anyway, be careful, guys. I know a lot of you are young. Don't let anyone take advantage of you. If you think something's questionable, definitely tell someone, hold them accountable. Anyway, comment in the section below. Tell us your stories. We want to hear if you've ever applied or worked for a sketchy company. And also, what do you think of this man getting arrested? Do you think he's an entrepreneur or do you think he's a moron? Comment in the section below and we'll see you soon. Students at the University of Austin have a clever way of protesting the concealed carry laws that will take effect very, very soon. Basically, the state of Texas has now passed laws that indicate that students can go to school packing And some students aren't too happy about it because they feel that it's threatening to do so. Now, the students at the University of Austin have a new program or a new protest that they refer to as Cocks Not Glocks. And what they do is they show up to campus with massive multicolored dildos to make a point about how it's actually not warranted to go to class with a sex toy, but it is warranted to go to school with these weapons. Now, the bill did pass in June, and again, it'll allow anyone with a concealed handgun license to carry a concealed firearm on any college or university campus at the state of Texas. However, private universities can come up with their own laws. Now, University of Texas alumni Jessica Jin is the one who came up with this counter-protest, and she is advocating for the dildos and backpacks. Here's what she has to say on the Facebook page. Starting on the first day of long session classes on August 24th, 2016, we are strapping gigantic swinging dildos to our backpacks to protest campus carry. Anybody can participate in solidarity. Alum, non-UT students, people outside of Texas. Come one dildo, come all dildos. You're carrying a gun to class? Yeah, well, I'm carrying a huge dildo. Just about as effective at protecting us from sociopathic shooters, but much safer for recreational play. Hashtag Cocks Not Glocks. Now, unfortunately, she got a lot of hate for this. Some people, gun owners, gun advocates, are now threatening to take her life as a result of this, which kind of proves her protest right, don't you think? But I do want to know what you guys think about this. Charlie, make your point.
Well, those good guys with guns that are threatening to take her life over the dildos, that kind of does prove her point. Few things. In Texas, it's illegal. Yeah, it's illegal to have like a garden hose out in public because it looks too much like a dildo. It's and not guns.
That really
That's kind of
true?
crazy.
Really?
Well, if the garden hose has like a black head on it, and then it's
Charlie did his research before coming to
I
this
do
show.
my
That's
research
amazing.
here,
Okay,
yeah.
by the way, until 2008, the sale of any sex toy was prohibited in the state of Texas. Okay, so they are more strict about toys that pleasure you as opposed to weapons that can kill you.
Not just pleasure you though, Anna. If you take one of those huge dildos and you go, wacha,
True.
he's out, down for the count.
Boom.
Right.
I think it's more of a protective measure than it is a sexually gratifying measure. I think if you live in Texas, bring out the dildo.
Well, you know, the assault weapons ban also includes double dongers. So
Does it?
Well, they're long. They're very long.
They're
and
long.
thick.
They are.
Very.
You know what?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think it's a whole campaign. I'm sorry, were you done?
I was so done.
Okay,
I'm all hearing.
he's finished. Wink. Okay, so
Sex joke.
I think that orgasm joke. So I think that it's all a ploy in Texas by the cucumber committee. They're like, well, we don't want our cucumber business to get demolished. If dildos are popularized, then Lord knows we're gonna lose a quarter of our sales. But with regards to this campaign, support it, agree with it. I think it's hilarious. I think that it was a little bit of a stretch to kind of, I think it's catchy, but all right. And look,
Yeah.
they got what they wanted, and I just hope that after this campaign is done with, that these dildos are donated to a worthy cause.
all right, fair enough.
Charity.
I mean, I think the
Don't throw
women
them away, it's waste.
I think the women who have them should use them for a worthy cause.
That's right.
Because they could be a lot of fun.
That's right.
All right, so would you rather have metal detectors or armed guards on a campus? Okay, so think of yourself as a student, you're about to go to school. Would you rather have armed guards that could potentially protect you or metal detectors to ensure that people don't show up with weapons? Hank.
Whatever's most convenient. Because the one thing I hate about flying is just TSA and security.
Yeah.
So I feel like metal detectors would slow getting to school so much. It's like I have to arrive at school an hour and a half early when class starts at 8, at 6:30 when class starts at 8, just to go through. So I think the convenience of it, maybe armed guards, but then again, that's less secure. So I feel like I might be an idiot in answering that question. Like if someone wants to shoot up the school and kill you, they're gonna find a way.
Are you gonna have an armed guard in every class?
You
And
can't
by
do
the
it.
way, for those of you who are watching this right now and you're like, well, the problem is that there aren't enough,
Good guys with guns.
yeah,
Sorry.
you got to arm all the professors, and you got to make sure you get rid of these gun-free zones. Here's the thing: I'm a professor. Okay, I teach at a university.
Yeah.
I have no fucking interest in shooting and killing anyone to protect my students. I don't want to be placed in that position. Don't put the onus on me to protect people. Okay, the onus should be on our lawmakers to ensure that guns don't end up in the wrong hands. So I'm not in the weird position of trying to protect my students. I don't want to shoot a gun. I hate shooting guns. In fact, I've gone shooting 2 different times, and I despise it, okay? The onus should not be on the educators. Educators are there to educate, not to be Rambo and protect against all these crazed maniacs with guns. Charlie, make your point.
I would like armed guards, but those guards should be armed with dildos.
Okay, I'm in favor of that.
I'm in favor of that. Done.
Yes.
Vote,
I
your vote.
hate that this is even like a question that people really have to consider. I don't like either one of those options. I would like to be in a country where this isn't even an issue. But since it is an issue, I would go with metal detectors. Because I feel like that's a safer way and it's a safer bet. So that's how it is. What do you guys think? Comment in the section below. Tell us what you believe. And if you are a gun advocate, I am ready to take your hate. So comment in the section below and we'll see you guys soon. Do you guys remember Martin Shkreli? He is the CEO of a questionable pharmaceutical company that recently purchased a drug that helps protect people from parasitic infections. Now, those with AIDS are particularly vulnerable to this infection because of their weakened immune system, and so it's really important that this particular drug is available at an affordable price. However, Martin Shkreli's company purchased the drug and took the price from $13.50 per pill to $750 per pill. Diaprim is the name of the pill, and unfortunately, he thinks that what he's doing is absolutely okay. And there's an update to this story. Apparently, he's on Tinder. You're a public figure, maybe you shouldn't be on Tinder, but anyway, he was on Tinder, and he matched with a 22-year-old by the name of Eve. Now, Eve thought it was amusing that he was on there and thought that she could just ask him a few questions about his decision to increase the price of the drug. Then she shared their exchange to the media, and I'm about to share it with you. So she says, "How do you wish the media would have told the story?" And he's like, "Accurately would be nice, haha." It was accurate. So your side of the story is that insurance companies would cover the additional cost by raising the price. You're putting the money back into research. And he says something like that. He's so full of shit, it's so obvious. I mean, to be honest, you did what so many big pharma heads do, privilege, profit over regard for human life. You just got called out on it. Capitalism is awful. So his argument was, well, I increased the price because all of the extra money that we make as a result of this will be funneled into a new research program to come up with a better drug. Although many other professionals in the healthcare industry said, this drug is as effective as it can be. We don't need a new drug for this. This is all BS, and all he wants to do is profit off of it. So him, responding to this woman kind of shows you that his intentions were completely disingenuous, and I have no respect for this guy whatsoever. But it is true. A lot of pharmaceutical companies do this. The only reason why he got publicity over this is because his price gouging was so egregious that people had to call him out on it. Hank, what do you think about this? Make your point.
Anna, find out who this girl is and get her on the show. She is. Yeah. I have so much respect for her, and honestly, if I were straight, I'd be like, oh my God, like, let's go on a date. Like, she seems like she's so on top of it, and I completely agree with her. She was like, wait a minute, I know this public asshole. I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind, because why not?
Yeah, I do love it.
And he's a fool for responding, because come on, you're a public figure. Anything you write or put out there will probably be decimated.
Why is he on Tinder? I mean, it just shows you how stupid he is. Charlie, make your point.
Yeah, Martin Shkreli, total douchebag. For his next trick, he'll take water, buy the rights to water, and then charge, which may solve our water shortage. But no, this girl had a great opportunity to really get, to the person of who he was. He bought this drug for parasitic infections. What she should have asked him is, have you taken the drug yourself? And then, as a consequence, did you die? Because he's a parasitic infection.
Oh, that's a great point.
See what I did
he
there?
Definitely is a parasite,
Genius.
as are many other pharmaceutical company CEOs, by the way. All right, well, if you could choose one type of medication that you can make free, which medication would it be, Hank?
You know what? The one that when I was a kid, Claritin used to require a prescription. Mm-hmm. I remember the day when it became a free-for-all. I mean, granted, it's not free, but that was such is this really happening? It reminds me of a couple of years ago when weed got legalized. Yeah. All my friends who were potters were like, what?
Yes.
This thing was contraband. And so honestly, weirdly enough, I'm a big fan of allergy medicine because I feel like it's a thing that a lot of people can use. Uh-huh. And I think it should be distributed free like New York City condoms. You have an allergy, here you go. Because it's not something that can be really addictive. It's very useful. It's a common ailment.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm
I
all
would
about
have
the
not
allergy-
guessed that you'd go with allergy medicine.
I'm weird like that.
Charlie, are you gonna out weird Hank?
Well, I mean, I was thinking of what could I do? Could I think of like this like cancer drug or something? But I didn't really know any.
Yeah.
And I figured there were too many to even choose from. So then I was like, oh, weed. We'll just make weed
Thank
legal for
you.
everyone.
Thank you. Okay,
But
here's
for free? Distributed for free?
Yes. First of all, it grows in the earth. So as a result, I think it should be free. It should be a public resource that everyone takes advantage of. But my reasoning isn't even because of that. I think that there is a huge problem in the country with opioid addiction, and that refers to painkillers. And so people keep getting prescribed these painkillers. They're very highly addictive. And as a result, people's lives get destroyed due to that. I mean, if you look at prescription pain addiction in the country, it's astronomical. If they had access to weed instead, I mean, first of all, marijuana is not chemically addictive. Some people do become dependent on it if they're smoking it constantly, but it's a much safer, healthier alternative than taking opioids.
Especially the chocolates.
Yes. Yes.
So just like how there are public water fountains, do you think there should be like public weed dispensaries?
Yeah.
Is there? I'm not a pothead now. Sorry, I'm just asking. I'm like, is there an age limit to how young one can ingest?
Here's
weed?
the thing. I think it should be free
18 and older.
medicinally. And also, here's another thing to keep in mind. There's a psychoactive component of marijuana, and then there's the non-psychoactive component of marijuana. And the non-psychoactive component helps a lot of young kids with things like seizures, right? So if they have epilepsy, it could help them with epilepsy. So it really depends on what their ailment is. But regardless, if you need it for medicinal purpose, it should be available to you for free.
If you
That's
want
my
it for
take.
fun, pay a little.
Yeah,
Help the
I agree.
cause.
Recreational's a little different, although I would make the argument that
Take
maybe
some free stuff too.
Amsterdam, right?
Yes,
Amsterdam.
yes. All right, guys. Well, tell us what you think. Which type of medication would you like to make free? Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. A man in Ohio decided to smoke a little too much weed, and as a result, he got a little too high. So he called 911, and the exchange was hilarious.
All right, I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah,
What'd you take?
I can't feel anything.
You're what?
I can't feel anything.
Okay, what did you take?
Weed.
Weed?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name? Is there anyone there with you?
Yeah, they don't know.
Okay, how old are you?
22.
Oh, my God.
Are they going to be able to answer the door for us?
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, we'll send an ambulance right over to check you out, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This guy's done. He's done.
I love how he's like, I'm a little too high. Enjoy it. And he's like, I can't feel anything. Enjoy it. That's what's supposed to happen, right?
You got the good
first
stuff.
timer.
Yeah.
Next
I
time,
like
call Anna. Don't call 911.
Yeah, exactly. Call me and I'll walk you through it. So when the police arrived, they found the man curled next to a plethora of Doritos, Pepperidge Farm goldfish, and Chips Ahoy cookies. Oh my God, that sounds like so much
did
fun.
it right.
Why were we invited?
I know. Oh my God, I wish I was there with him. I'd be like, it's okay, baby. You're gonna be fine. Like pat his back, eat his cookies.
Feed him a chip.
I don't even know if there's really a point to make about this, other than the fact that marijuana is safer than alcohol, and it's considered a Schedule I drug in the United States. It blows my mind. You're not going to die from marijuana, but it is true that if you smoke a little too much, you do feel like it's a feeling that you're never going to get rid of. Like you're going to stay that way forever. I remember having an edible once, and it was such an intense high that I worried that I caused permanent brain damage. But I do want to know what you guys think about this. Charlie, make your point.
Dude. Sometimes sometimes you just have to, put on a movie. And
Yeah.
if you can't move, that's fine, but just become part of that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's really the only point there is to make here. You can call the cops. No arrests were made in this story.
thank God. I was so worried he'd get
he
arrested.
smoked the evidence.
Yeah, that's true.
Clearly.
Good point.
If you're that high, you smoked everything you had.
Yeah.
He's having a good time. What's my favorite snack to reach for when I'm?
No. We'll get to that in a
Oh,
second,
sorry.
homeboy. I want you to
I'm
make
sorry.
your point.
John, I made my point. Sorry. We have to edit that out. I'm clearly high right now. Just sounds like a good time. And I think he was such like a novice. He was just kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of like wigging out. It was like the first time where I tried a substance where I wasn't quite sure what was happening, and I've talked about this on the show. Just at like the pool in July 4th being like, what is going on? And people were coming over to like hold my hand, to let me lean on them.
Yeah.
And I was just like in the corner and everyone else is playing volleyball and
Yeah.
chicken fighting.
Dude, I've been there too. Like, is this real life? Is this gonna last forever? All right, what's your favorite snack to reach when you're drinking or if you've been smoking that doobie? Charlie.
The last time I was home, my mom saved some of these for me, so that was very nice of her. Not because she was like, "Oh, Charlie's gonna get stoned while he's home.
Oh,
He's
I was
gonna be
about to
hungry."
say, you have the coolest mom
I
ever.
know.
what?
I know.
Okay.
She's cool.
What does she
She's
make?
cool, but she just knows I like these. They're the carnival cookies, the pink and the white ones.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are so good. They used to be like huge back in the day, and then
Yeah.
they died for a little while, but someone was smoking weed and was like, we got to write Nabisco or whoever the hell makes it, and was like, bring back the
Let's
carnival
bring it
cookies.
back.
It might be revived now that it's more legalized. It might,
Could be.
Maybe.
That could be it. Colorado brought back carnival cookies.
I love it. What about you, Hank?
Well, I have a food addiction. Charlie knows what it is.
Oh, yeah.
What is, yeah.
It's kettle chips. Kettle chips.
Greasy, salty, filling, like flavorful, and I like to dip them into what?
He likes to dip them into hummus. I know this because
That's my husband. That's my husband
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
You guys hang out without
We-
me
we-
quite a bit.
We've invited you, Anna. You're
Okay,
so
Yeah,
busy.
next time, let me know. I'm serious. Because you guys
Okay.
have a good time,
We
obviously.
are fun.
There's some
Kettle
hummus
chips.
and freaking kettle
And
chips
his
up
wife.
there.
His
Yeah.
wife. This will be a foursome.
It'll
I
be-
love
to-
it.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
second.
And his wife is freaking amazing.
Oh my God,
she was on the
gorgeous.
show recently.
Say her
okay?
name. Pitch her out. Go ahead.
Alex Worley.
Alex Worley.
Yeah.
Follow her.
Yeah.
on Twitter.
I personally love sweet things. So I know that there are people who like savory, but I'm a total like sweet tooth person. So if I'm under the influence, I like to eat chocolate, cake. I love donuts. I have like this fascination with donuts. Buttermilk donuts are the best. Old-fashioned donuts are the best. Cake donuts, those thick, dense, cakey donuts. Yeah, and then the next day I wake up and I go on a like 20-mile run because I feel guilty about it. But I do want to know what you guys like to reach for when you're either drunk or high. What's your favorite food to eat? Comment in the section below. Give us some suggestions, and we'll see you guys soon. Final story for you guys, and this one is actually one of my favorites because it does impact me and explain a lot. I love cheese. You probably love cheese too, and if you do eat it, it turns out that it could be as addictive as taking certain drugs. This is according to a recent study that indicates that when you eat dairy, all right, specifically cheese, there is a certain protein in it referred to as casein, and it's so highly concentrated in cheese that it attaches to your opiate receptors in your brain. It's the same thing that happens when you take certain drugs. So you get addicted to it, you want to eat more of it, and as a result, you continue eating more of it, not just in that sitting, but in the future, you'll crave it. I'm really good at explaining science stories, as you guys can tell. Anyway, whatever, there's amino acids involved as well. If you are a scientist and you're watching this right now and you're like, you're an idiot, I got it.
Comment below, bitch.
But all you need to know is that it is addictive, or it can be as addictive as taking certain drugs. I think this makes all the sense in the world. The one thing that I do spend a lot of money on when it comes to groceries is cheese. And of course, we all end up wasting food because it's impossible to eat everything that we buy sometimes, but I never waste the cheese, okay? Never waste the cheese.
Not even if it's moldy.
Yeah.
No.
I'll eat that shit.
Cut it
Blue
around
cheese,
it. Yeah.
that's mold.
That's mold, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
I love blue
It's
cheese.
aged.
Some people don't like it.
What's wrong
Forget
with
about
that?
them.
We're done.
Hank,
Have them eat black cheese,
right?
which is the black mold on cheese.
Exactly. And that shit costs more. That costs more.
Actually, it's free if you just leave your cheese.
That's
Do you
in the
guys
refrigerator.
ever go to Whole Foods and just like stare at the cheese selection for a good
Yes.
30 minutes?
Yes.
It's
I've
so
been there.
amazing.
Yes.
Been there?
Do you
Yes.
guys have points to make about this?
Points. Hank?
Do you guys know what the word for cheese is in Chinese?
No.
I'm going to tell you. It's cheese. Because cheese is not an Asian thing.
Wait,
it's a
wait.
direct translation. It's
Wait. Say it again.
cheese. So
Cheese.
cheesy. So Anna now speaks Chinese. Just how like just like when I went to go see movies with my cousins in Taiwan and China, you know, Sandra Bullock, her name is Sandra Bullock. You know, it's just a direct translation. Cheese is, you know, yeah, it's just, you know, they just take, they appropriate an American word.
Yeah.
Because dairy is not an Asian thing. But oh my God, I am so addicted to them. I totally believe the story. It does not surprise me. And when I was going through my awkward years and then my coming out years, I had very sensitive skin, and I was doing all these elimination diets and just doing lean chicken and vegetables and starving. And one of the first things I got cut out was dairy.
Yes.
And that was so traumatizing. and now I've got everything in balance spiritually, holistically. I can enjoy as much fucking cheese as I want.
I love
and it is heaven.
I love it.
Heaven.
Charlie.
My point, I don't know how I'd follow that
You're
up.
from Wisconsin.
Your cord is dangling. Do you know that?
Keep
Your
yanking
cord-
on it.
Okay.
Oh. Charlie, you're from Wisconsin.
Yes, I'm from Wisconsin. So as America's Dairyland, we have a lot of chizza there. Is that how you say it?
That's right.
And
Chinese.
so,
That's
yeah,
right, yeah.
so I grew up with it. In fact, if you go to Trader Joe's, a lot of that cheese is from Wisconsin there, guys. So be thankful, be grateful, because we work hard for that cheese, and it's so addicting and good. And
It's so good.
string
What's
cheese.
your favorite way to eat cheese, guys?
Cheese curds.
On a cracker.
All right.
Or if I'm like you and I've got extra leftover cheese, you find a way to crumble or melt it over any dish. It can be melted cheese on anything is delicious. There's nothing that you can't melt it on that won't make it taste good.
All right, I have a cheese slicer. So I like to buy different blocks of
Yeah,
cheese.
yeah.
Lately, aged cheddar has been my thing. But I like to make fancy Lunchables, because Lunchables were great. So I'll buy peppered salami and really fancy crackers, and then I'll like slice all these really great blocks of cheese,
Right.
and then I'll have fancy Lunchables for dinner, and it's awesome.
I know.
That's a business idea.
Yeah.
You should. Oh yeah.
This counts as a poor man's
Yeah,
copyright.
this is
a
copyright
this
right now.
counts.
Right?
Don't
Patent.
nobody be
Yeah.
taking this idea.
It's patented.
Patented.
The three of us might need to go to an Addicts Anonymous meeting,
Yeah.
and everyone goes around and talks about their sex addiction and their drug addiction, and we're talking about our feta
Yes,
addiction. We're
yes.
like we might have a problem.
Exactly.
That'll-
It's okay, though. It's okay.
Yeah, it's healthy, right?
Sure. Anyway, tell us what you guys think. What's your favorite cheese? What's your favorite way to eat cheese? Maybe you don't like cheese and you're just strange. Share your stories in the comment section below. We want to hear from you, and we'll see you soon. All right, guys, that does it for our Double Decker show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I want to give you guys an opportunity to follow some of the work that Hank and Charlie do. So Hank, Chen, do your thing.
Hey, so I'm about to shoot just a little role on the new Netflix show Grace and Frankie.
No big deal.
Lily Tomlin,
No
Jane
big
Fonda. You know what's fun too is Lily Tomlin. I actually have met her a few times. She's a huge LGBT advocate. So I'm almost like, I wonder if she'll remember me. Like I'll be,
She'll remember
I'm
you.
pull up like this was on a red carpet. Like I wonder if like she'll love it or I'll get banned from the set. So we'll see what happens. But it's fun. It's exciting. And also, I just worked with this stud muffin right over here. So we'll
Charlie Berens.
Yes.
We did a little short. We did it on FIFA. So yeah, it's
Where
gonna be
can
good.
people see it?
People can see it on the in the link below. In the link below, it's done by the time this is airing. There's a link in the thing below.
Awesome.
And that's where I got to know that Hank had a fetish for kettle chips and other things.
Very cool.
And other things, yeah. And fun little. I'm sorry, one more thing. This is a little love fest over here. Charlie and I met, and first of all, we just immediately started obsessing over our common love of Anna Kasparian.
Yes, we did.
We met on a set doing a short film. And the lead of it is a woman named Sarah Clark, who was in 24.
And
It was
he would
so
not leave her alone.
I was kind of upset. I'm gonna treat it. It was she was very nice to me, but I was kind of a fangirl, and
Total
we just kind of connected.
I love
So
it.
we just have a lot of little things going on.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, TYT and The Point bringing people together.
We
So
are.
I'm glad you guys are working together. All right, guys, you can check me out Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the Young Turks. We're now on Fire Talk, firetalk.com/TYT if you want to check out our content. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Anna Kasparian and Instagram, Anna Kasparian TYT. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much for being patient with us and watching the show, subscribing, supporting us, and sharing your stories. We absolutely love you. And remember, never be afraid to make your point. What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Point. I'm your host, Anna Kasparian, and I do apologize to everyone who missed me during last week's episode. I was unfortunately out of town, but I'm back today, and we have a great show ahead for you guys today. In fact, we have a double-decker show because I'm going to be out of town next week, and I want to make sure that there's enough content to hold you over until I come back. And thankfully, we have great panelists to help me do that. We have Hank Chen, a returning panelist that hasn't been here in a while.
I know. I was like, am I in trouble? Why no one's returning my... I'm kidding. No. It's so great to be back. Thank you.
He's a comedian and actor. For any of you who aren't familiar with him, he's awesome, and it's great to have you back.
So great to be back, sweetheart.
And we also have Charlie Berens, who's another awesome returning panelist.
Yes, thank you. Here for the double-decker.
Yes, it's going to be fun. He's an actor and host of At Hollywood. You guys should check him out. Later on in the show, I'm going to give you an opportunity to plug some of your work so everyone can like cyber stalk you and know what you're up to.
Charlie is also my new husband. He's my husband for this month.
It's
all right, okay.
This month thing.
Yeah.
Might last a little longer.
Well,
might
you
last
guys make a
less.
very handsome couple.
That's Hollywood for you. You know, we're open.
All right, so what are we talking about today? Amy Schumer goes after the Kardashians. Some of you probably love that. Some of you might not like it. I know Khloe Kardashian didn't. We'll get to that. Also, students at the University of Austin are protesting concealed carry on their campuses, and they're doing so with sex toys. I'll give you the information on that one. And then finally, if you love cheese, you and I are in the same camp, and it turns out that it could be just as addictive as doing drugs. So there's some scientific evidence later on in the show. But first, let's get started with Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer did her first ever monologue on SNL, and of course she killed it. And she picked on, honestly, low-hanging fruit, the Kardashians. So during her monologue, she said the following: "We have to be a role indicating that those with black-sounding names are more likely to be discriminated against when they're applying for jobs. Raven-Symoné seems to think that there's nothing wrong with that." Take a look.
Can we take back racist and say discriminatory? Because I think that's a better word.
Yes, it is a much better
That's
word.
a better word, and I am very discriminatory against words like the ones that they were saying in those names. I'm not about to hire you if your name is Watermelon Andrea. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna hire you.
Really? That's not their fault. I would be such a beautiful King Kong Quisha, by the way, I'm just letting you guys know.
No, is that mean? Is that mean for me?
Yeah, it's kind of mean. Especially when you've been given evidence indicating that people in your own group have been discriminated against just based on their name. Something that they didn't choose themselves, and you totally believe it's okay to discriminate against them. And you say that you would discriminate yourself. So yes, that's mean. But she did issue an apology after the backlash, and after her own father said that that was a stupid thing to say. Here's her apology. She says, "I'd like to begin by saying that I was not attacking a specific race, but repeating a name that was said in a viral video, which has received over 2 million likes. I have been denied many jobs because of my skin color, body size, and age. Each time I was rejected, my self-esteem was negatively affected, so I empathize with those who feel victimized by what I said. As an equal opportunity employer, I have never discriminated against a name, even though I said I would. It's not true. My comment was in poor taste." Now, her comment was in poor taste, and I'm glad that she is admitting that and conceding to that. But in the beginning of her statement, I love how she's like, "I was making a reference to a viral video that 2 million people liked," kind of trying to make a statement about how, whatever, there are lots of dramatic, but I really hope that people don't make light of Lamar Odom's drug issue because it's devastating.
In a brothel, what was he addicted to? You know what I mean? There's a lot going on there.
I mean, we're all addicted to the power of the pussy or the cock. So I'm not hating on Lamar. I just feel bad that he has a substance abuse issue. I don't want to take this to a dark place.
Of course.
Charlie Berens.
Too late.
story,
Already
I know.
went there.
Story number one.
We're in a brothel with drug abuse. No, I liked Amy Schumer's monologue. I do think she needs to give little girls a little more credit. I think they have other people they
Role
look
models.
to other than the Kardashians. And I get what Khloe's saying, like, let's be nice, let's uplift one another. But if on a weekly basis you're the Kardashians and you are consistently perpetuating these sort of like beauty first things, you're going to be called out on that, and you should be called out on that. And it was low-hanging fruit, but you know what? Someone's got to eat the low-hanging fruit.
I got it,
or else
yeah.
the worms will get it.
Yo.
Oh, okay.
That's a
Good
fruit
point.
thing.
I'm
If
gonna
you
write
pick
that
apples,
down.
yeah.
I like these metaphors.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
my
I
new
like it.
Instagram
It's off
meme.
the top of my head.
So here's a personal question for the story. Do you guys think it's worse to make fun of someone for being too skinny or too fat? Charlie.
I think both are bad. I mean, I just watched a documentary on the name I'm forgetting, but a very popular YouTuber who, was bullied for being skinny. She had a disease that didn't allow her to.
We did a story on it.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you did a story on that. So there was that. So I think that is just as bad and just as damaging as the other YouTuber who made that fat shaming thing. I forget her name.
Nicole Arbor.
You got her.
Yeah, she is a deplorable human being.
Biatch.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, what about you?
How do
What
I
think?
feel about
Yes,
it?
how do you feel about
I mean,
this?
like, the question is it worse? So if I have to pick one, I would say fat is probably meaner, but as someone who's on the skinny side, I think the more subversive approach, I'm constantly getting people who are like, you need to work out, or you should eat something. And I think, and at first, since sometimes being skinny is not seen as an immediate bad thing, you don't quite know how to take it, whereas being fat is a clear insult.
Right. I mean, historically, in the United States specifically, and of course it varies based on which country you're in, heavier individuals are usually made fun of more than thin individuals. So I can see how making fun of heavier people is seen as worse than making fun of thin people. But shaming someone's body type, regardless of what their body type is wrong. And so I agree with Charlie that you shouldn't do it, regardless of what a person looks like. I mean, it's funny because I get body shamed every once in a while, and I make light of it because I don't care that much, but it's usually about my ass. Like, oh, she's got no ass. But it's like, come on, it's my body type. It's the way that I'm built. I'm healthy, I eat right, I exercise, and this is as good as it gets. So if people don't like it, I don't know, whatever. Deal
Pretty
with
damn
it.
good, in
right?
my opinion.
Well,
If that's as good as it gets.
Thank you.
You
I
have
agree.
an ass.
Yeah, it looks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
She does, guys. You have an ass.
Thank you. Thank
Yep,
you.
there it
Oh
is.
my God, I'm
Yeah,
getting a little
that's good.
self-conscious now. Anyway, guys, tell us what you think. Do you think it's worse to make fun of someone's body type if they're overweight or underweight? And also, what do you make of this story? Do you think that Khloe Kardashian was in her right to be upset over Amy Schumer joking about her? Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. Everyone is a little upset at Raven-Symoné, especially because some of her views on The View have been controversial to say the least. Now, recently, the ladies of The View were talking about a study model for these little girls because who do they have? All they have really is the Kardashians. Is that a great message for little girls? A whole family of women who take faces they were born with as a light suggestion. But then after that, she actually went off on Khloe Kardashian. Here's what she said. We used to have Khloe. Khloe was ours, right? Whenever there's a group of women, you identify with one of them. But then Khloe, she lost half her body weight. She lost a Kendall. Now, Khloe Kardashian did lose a lot of weight, about 35 pounds in the last 2 years. And it's because she's been hitting the gym, she's been eating healthy, and honestly, she looks incredible. And even though Amy Schumer is a comedian and everyone should be able to laugh at themselves, Khloe was not too pleased with that joke, and she kind of posted a cryptic message on Twitter that many believe was directed at at Amy. So here's what she had to say. She said, "No need to tear others down just to make yourself feel bigger. It actually makes you quite small. I'm on a healthy journey. I don't care for the hate." And then she also wrote, "Let's uplift one another. Happy Sunday. Stay smiling." I think that was actually a pretty classy way to handle it. You can tell that she was bothered by the jokes, but you do have to be able to laugh at yourself, especially if you're a public figure. You are going to be the butt of jokes. And if you know you look good, who cares? Flaunt it. Let them talk, right? Not a big deal. I want to know what you guys think about this. Hank, make your point.
Oh, girl, subtweet. Here's the thing. The Kardashians, I don't know what to believe. I'm like, this is going to end up on their show. And quite frankly, they have a lot more to worry about with Lamar Odoms being found unconscious in a brothel.
I feel terrible.
So this is not at the top of their list.
I know that there are some people that take these like reality celebrities and they make light of everything they go through, even if they're going through something traumatic.